Hello boys and girls, it's Danny here, aka the Music Hermit, back with another guitar video for you all. Today's video is going to be a bit of a cool little arpeggio exercise based on major, minor, 7th arpeggios that's going to help you with a bunch of things basically in your playing. It is a bit more of an intermediate / advanced exercise. If you're a beginner, you're still welcome to hang out and try it out for yourself. But I just thought that I should mention that it's a bit more of an intermediate / advanced level. So with that said, let's dive into it. Cool, so this exercise is going to be based on major and minor 7th arpeggios, and we're going to do it in D. We're going to do it in the key of D major 7th because why not? But you're welcome to try any key you like, but for today I'm going to show you this exercise in D. And it's going to be based on for the first 4 degrees of the D major scale, which we're going to expand, right? So if we look at the D major scale, the first 4 notes are D, E, F sharp, and G. Okay, so we're going to expand those into chords. So we're going to play the D major 7th, E minor 7th, F sharp minor 7th, G major 7th. Now you might be wondering, but I thought you said it's an arpeggio exercise. It is. I'm just showing you the chords that the arpeggios are going to be based on, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the arpeggio patterns themselves. Then I'm going to show you the exercise. Okay, so the first arpeggio is going to be the D major 7th arpeggio, starting on the D on the 5th fret of the A string. And it's going to be something like this. We're going to play D, F sharp, which is your major 3rd, on the 4th fret of the D string, A on the 2nd fret of the G string, that's your 5th, right? Your major 7th, which is the C sharp, on the 2nd fret of the B string, your D, which is the 3rd fret of the B string, F sharp, which is going to be the 2nd fret of the E, the high E string, and A. So we're going to play kind of an octave and a half arpeggio, right? Because we're starting from this D here, we're playing up to the octave D here, and then we're playing another major 3rd and another 5th. So it's kind of like an octave and a half. So the first thing you need to do for this exercise is just be familiar with this pattern, the major 7th arpeggio, okay? I would always advise you to learn the patterns ascending and descending, because we're going to use both later on in the exercise. So make sure you can play. Just get the pattern nice and comfy under your fingers, alright? Play that a few times. Let's move on to the second arpeggio, an E minor 7th arpeggio. And it's going to look something like this. We're going to start from the E on the 7th fret on the A string. We're going to play the minor 3rd on the G on the 5th fret of the D string. So we're going to play the 5th, which is the B on the G string, the 4th fret, the minor 7th, which is going to be the D in this case on the 7th fret of the G string, the root, which is octave rather I should say, the E on the 5th fret of the B string, and then we're going to, once we're here, we're going to do an octave and a half arpeggio again, yeah? So another minor 3rd, the G on the 3rd fret of the high E string, the 5th on the 7th fret of the high E string. So in total, the E minor 7th arpeggio looks something like this. Again, you want to do it up and down, ascending and descending. Again, you want to play this one up and down as well, ascending and descending, okay? Again, you want to play this one up and down and be familiar with both the ascending and descending patterns. It's very important, so. Going up. Do that a few times so you're very familiar with the pattern. Third pattern, we said, so I have D major 7th, E minor 7th, F sharp minor 7th. So we're going to play an F sharp minor 7th arpeggio. The F sharp minor 7th arpeggio is exactly the same as the E minor 7th before it, just shifted onto the F sharp, okay? So starting from the F sharp instead of the E on the 9th fret of the A string. That's all there is to it. Same exact pattern. Last shape of the exercise to the pattern is going to be a G major 7th arpeggio based on the G major 7th chord. It's going to be exactly the same pattern as the D major 7th arpeggio we started with, just shifted onto the G here on the 10th fret of the A string. So it's going to look something like this. Right, so let's move on to the actual exercise. For the main exercise, we are going to be playing the notes in triplets, and we're not going to be playing them completely linearly, so just one note one time after each other as we did before, right? Instead, we're going to group the notes into chunks or patterns of 3 notes at a time, or triplets, and we're going to play 3 notes forward, go 1 note back and play another 3 notes. And go a note back and play another 3 notes. Let me show you what that's going to look like in practice. So taking the first D major, for example, we're going to play the first 3 notes. Then we're going to go back 1 note, which is the F sharp here, and play the next 3 notes. Then we're going to go back 1 note, which is the A here, and play the next 3 notes in the arpeggio. 1 note back to C sharp and play the next 3 notes. 1 note back, which is the D, and play the next 3 notes. So in total, we have something like this. Now remember, we want to do this descending as well, and it's going to be the same principle, except this time we're going to go 3 notes back and 1 note forward, right? So it's like a mirror. So it's going to look something like this. 3 notes back, and then 1 note forward, which is the F sharp, and another 3 notes back. 1 note forward, not 1 note forward, which is the D here, another 3 notes back, 1 note forward, the C sharp, and another 3 notes back, 1 note forward, which is the A, and 3 notes back. We're back to the D where we started. Once you've done this for all 4 patterns, so for the D major 7th arpeggio, for the E minor 7th arpeggio, for the F sharp minor 7th arpeggio, and the G major 7th arpeggio, we're going to move on to the final stage of the exercise, which is the coolest part in my opinion. So what we're going to do now is we're going to combine everything we've done so far into one neat little sort of package. We're going to do this by basically descending down one arpeggio and then ascending up the next. Then descending down the next arpeggio and descending up the next. So we're going to go down the D major 7th, up the E minor 7th, down the F sharp minor 7th, up the G major 7th. When we get up the G major 7th, we're going to go back down the G major 7th, then back up the F sharp minor 7th, down the E minor 7th, back up the D major 7th, and then we get back to where we started originally, okay? Let me show you slowly what it's going to look like. So we're going to start from the D, and we're going to play with the triplet pattern that we've just covered. So it's going to be something like this, okay? Once I get here to the bottom of the D pattern, I'm going to shift and go up the E minor 7th pattern. Once I get up here, I'm going to shift and go down the F sharp minor 7th pattern. Once I get here, I'm going to shift and move up the G major 7th pattern. Once you get here, all you're going to do is just go back down the G major 7th pattern and reverse the process. So down the G, up the F sharp minor 7th, down the E minor 7th, and up the D major 7th. And we are back to where we started. At that point, you can just start the exercise all over again. Now, what's so cool about this exercise is that we have effectively played each arpeggio both up and down throughout this whole pattern of going up the neck and down the neck. Some of the benefits of this exercise, one of the more obvious ones, is coordination between the 2 hands. It's a great picking exercise, it's a great stamina exercise, and also it allows you to become more familiar with the fretboard and look at it a bit more musically as well. Guys, that's really it. That's the whole exercise. Now obviously you can experiment and play in different keys and make it your own, use different arpeggio patterns and so on and so forth, but it's just a little something to hopefully get you started, and it sounds quite musical. It's quite a nice pattern to play, you know. So even while you're practicing, maybe you won't get as bored doing it. Anyway, I hope that's helped. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If there's anything you'd like me to clarify, I'd be happy to do so. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Do like the video if you found it useful, because that's going to give me feedback on how these lessons are going. Also subscribe to my channel if you want more related content, that way you get notified when I release new videos. And finally, check out my website musichermit.com. I've got a load of resources and fun stuff on there for you to check out. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, I will see you next time.